How you going? Recently, I came face to face with the biggest ethical decision of my life. And no, it isn't whether I should tell my friend that it is I that is putting pasta in his shoes, but the decision on which animal is the rightful homeowner of my pond. So let me give you the rundown. Since an early age, I have always had an obsession with animals and have always wanted a frog pond. And now that I am older and have developed the body capable of digging a hole in the ground, I decided to make one. At first things were going pretty great. The tadpoles were happy, I was happy, the world was happy. It seemed as though I had created a harmonious, healthy ecosystem of which I could be proud of. But then, these boys showed up. Now I call them Frog Slayers 69, but they are more commonly known as eastern water skinks. They are native to Australia and my garden, and there is nothing they love more than sipping mojitos, chilling by the pool, swimming in the pool, and eating my tadpoles and frogs. Now I don't want this, as I created a pond for frogs, not a luxury hedonistic all-you-can-eat buffet brothel for lizards. And I was going to have to do something about it. As I started to do some research into my options, I realized I was faced with a massive ethical conundrum on whether I, as a dude that likes frogs, should intervene and disrupt the natural circle of life. I started to look for professions that face a similar problem to mine, like workers at KFC or filmmakers in which their work involves observing animals experience life and death. Filmmakers usually observe the environment they are in and don't intervene. They generally agree amongst themselves that they shouldn't intervene if their actions would alter the environment and ecosystem in a significant way, and many documentary makers have let animals die while staying loyal to this idea. For example, during the filming of Planet Earth 2, David Attenborough and his crew chose not to intervene when a baby elephant was dying from thirst. And I have to tell you, I haven't cried that hard since Godzilla died. David Attenborough responded to criticisms by saying this was a natural cause of events and intervening would actually make things far worse by responding than not, adding that it was very important to simply observe. This seems like a very brutal stance, and I thought maybe they follow this moral high ground as watching animals get eaten and dying makes for more interesting TV. Following this same logic, I shouldn't intervene in the environment by removing the lizards, as I would be taking sides. I'd be creating a subjective battle of good versus evil. Frogs versus lizards, Jedi versus the Empire, Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, my mum versus my dad. By choosing to save the frogs, I'll be placing a higher value on their life than the lizards, when in fact both these animals deserve to live equally. I guess I need to understand that predators and prey have a complex relationship that has existed a lot longer than society's ethics, and I have no right to play God and intervene in nature, arranging it in a way that appeals to me. But then again, the circumstances I am faced with are not exactly the same as the filmmakers, as firstly, my name isn't David, and secondly, I made the pond in the first place, so I'm not dealing with a natural event, but dude made ones. After doing some further research, I found out that there was another time that during the filming of Planet Earth 2, David and his crew actually chose to intervene and save the lives of some baby sea turtles that were seduced by the lights of the city and were waddling towards a busy highway instead of the ocean. Their reasoning for this was that as the problem that animals were experiencing was man-made, they felt it appropriate to step in. So this is where the filmmakers draw the line, or David and his crew just hate elephants. As my pond is man-made, it is probably ethical for me to intervene and take the steps to try and save my little froggos without harming the lizards. I started considering trapping and relocating the lizards, but I came to the realization that I kind of developed a crush on the lizards. Like, how can you not? They're so scaly and bold. And that I didn't really want my pond to be absent of them. At the moment, the lizards literally sit on the edge of the pond and wait for movement, and then they leap forward and eat the frogs. It's kind of like shooting tadpoles in a barrel. So I thought I'd find a way to kind of tip the scales in the favor of the frogs. At first I thought maybe I could distract the lizards with a sexy lizard, like how can they resist? And I thought the lizards would be so horny that they wouldn't possibly be able to think of eating food, but that didn't really work.
Oi, where's the lizard poster gone? Oi, where's my sexy lizard poster? Wait, what is that? What are you doing? Oh, you dickhead.
Then I thought I could create something that would disturb the water surface, as the lizards seem to hunt by movement. So all I did was install this pump which causes the water to flow and disrupt the surface, confusing the crap out of the lizards. And it kind of seems to be working. Like, as soon as I turn it on, the lizards run towards it, knife and fork in hand, and just sit on the edge and stare at it. So I think maybe the lizards will still be able to hunt and live in my pond, but frogs will have a fighting chance. There you go. So now I've created a man-made solution to a man-made problem. And going back to that event in which David Attenborough and his crew chose not to intervene in saving a baby elephant, if you look at the bigger picture, you could probably argue that the crisis the elephant was facing was actually a man-made, as global warming and land clearing in that region would have had a massive impact on the prevalence of water. So maybe David should have sacrificed getting an interesting and tragic event on video and given that elephant some water. Or just installed some pond pumps. Your move, David. Thanks for watching. If you liked that, make sure to subscribe and check out my other stuff. Also, thank you so much to my Patreons. If I could, I would kiss you.